The question be now put.
I'll hear from Dr. Rajim Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to take a call on part 2 of this bill. And this part 2 of this bill is really about KiwiSaver and working for families. 2 of the most successful programs around. 2 programs where a majority of New Zealanders actually believe that whoever designed that, and of course it was the last government, actually did a good job. Working for families is proved by the number of people taking it up. Huge surprise when it was first introduced. The belief was that few would, but many have taken it up. So a very highly successful program. And Working for Families is the other one. This really is a subsidy on work for workers provided by the state because we have a low-wage economy. Another successful program. So here we have 2 successful programs, and what is being done in this bill is cutting them. And this government is a cut and hope government. This is a cut and hope budget. And there's plenty of evidence. The papers are full of it today. And there's something about this part of the bill that demonstrates this government's really hate, if you like, probably is not too strong a word, for those successful programs developed by the last government and put in place. The 2 I've just mentioned, Mr. Lothinger, the 2 I've just mentioned, KiwiSaver and Working for Families, the most successful. And that member talks about the companies in Maungakeakea doing very well. I want to tell that member that those companies were there before. Those companies are doing very well under the policy of the last 9 years. They have not been developed since that member took on responsibility for that particular electorate. So it's very well to say what the member is saying, but it just simply isn't quite, it's not consistent with actually what's happened. We're the policy of the last government. So here we are, this government cutting very successful program. And the irony, Mr. Chairman, is this. That the national governments of any hue have always destroyed good programs. In 1972, the very successful 1972 program that did National Super, who cut that program? Remember? Who cut that program? A national government came and cut it and destroyed it overnight. And it was the Cullen Fund that was designed to put some of that in place. And as the Cullen Fund decided to do that, what have they done with that? Who's played around with the Cullen Fund? That particular government, because it was successful. Because Stop Contribution is playing around with it. And again now, KiwiSaver, a successful program for savings for this country. And there's nothing, that particular side of the House, Mr. Chairman, says it supports savings. But it does everything to confound it, to cut it back. And here we are again. And then, of course, there is the little thing about keeping your word, Mr. Chairman. The Prime Minister gave his word that this would not be cut, this would not happen, and here they are doing it. They've broken their promises at every step of the way. Why would anybody want to trust whatever it is that government brings up as policies? Because that's all they do. Cut the successful programs, promise something else. And so it is a matter of trust. When KiwiSaver, as it's being changed in Part 2, it is a betrayal of the trust given to the electorate at the last election. And there is no way members opposite can resolve from that. This is a betrayal of trust. And of course now the language they're using to say, well, it isn't a breach of the trust at all because it will not come in for some time yet. Why are we debating this bill now? We are debating a cut to KiwiSaver, and that side said they would not do it, and therefore it's a breach of trust. Let's not play with words here. Let's not make things up. And because it is. We are discussing it now. It is your intention to do it. Where is the ethics in this? Where is the ethics of keeping your word to say, we will not do something, come here, change it, and then pretend as if you're not changing it? But it continues in this particular budget as well, that this part of the bill is trying to put into place, Mr. Chairman. It is really about the making it up, really, that indeed there is a huge dispute about the amount of income. Look, there is huge debate about the figures that this is all predicated on. It's predicated on, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Nicky Wagner.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.